Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and there is no other way to start this episode off other than a bang. Yep, and I love the flying bodies here. They just add to the explosion in question. But as you probably know, this is my 1,000 subscriber video. I finally hit 1,000 subscribers after about, I want to say 13, 14 months on YouTube, and it has been an interesting journey, to say the least, but I always want to start off with a thank you to everyone who's watched, to everyone who's subscribed, to even the one person who watched the video, didn't like it, and, you know, walked off at that point. It has been a completely different world that I've been in terms of YouTube compared to the software engineering past that I had. And honestly, it's been a lot of fun, but it's been stressful to say the least. I mean, it is something completely new to me, something that I have had to teach myself. I've loved games all my life, but actually having to try to, cover them critically has been a complete and different experience. And all the encouraging or discouraging comments, most of them encouraging, I've been very, very fortunate that people have always been encouraging on everything, that every single one thing helps. And I think I've grown as a creator and grown as a critic to understand what people want, what people need in terms of information. And that's because of you guys. Every single piece of feedback always helps to better help the next video. Now, I still make stupid mistakes. I still make those kinds of idiotic mistakes from time to time, like, saying, I'm doing that purposely, by the way, but, that one wasn't. It has been an interesting way of, going about it in terms of, okay, how do I fix that? How do I make sure that I cover this, cover that, so on and so forth. So I have to thank everyone for that, and hopefully I can keep on doing this to, give you guys the games that, really deserve your time. Now, of course, there's a giveaway, as always, and I will get to what games that I will give away later on in the video. It'll be the end, because I want to keep you here for a little bit, just because, I want to talk a little bit at this point. Sometimes I do want to talk about, how the channels are doing and what is coming sort of on the horizon at this point. Now that the artwork that I have commissioned is finally pretty much done. There are one or two alterations that the artist wants to still make, but I can, finally brand the channel in the way that I want at this point. And I have to give the artist credit, Pania. I will link her Twitter and her YouTube down below. I thank her for the work. She was paid and compensated for the work, and I thank her for, being, patient with some of my requests and honestly just doing some great work at this point. But without further ado, the old logo, as you see here, it is an old RTD server that I used to play on TF2 called Roll the Dice. And a couple people who watch this channel know exactly what I'm talking about because they played on that server as well. But now it looks to be this. This is the new logo. I still wanted to keep the dragon theme because, again, for anybody who doesn't know, Dragnix was a name that I took up in the old Unreal Tournament days, and Dragon and plus Phoenix equals Dragnix. And so I wanted to keep that aesthetic, but I wanted to give it a little bit more of a gaming field at this point. Obviously, the power in the eye sort of gives that electronic vibe, but also the fact that you probably recognize the horns as a certain set of triggers at this point. So I wanted to give it a little bit of style, and it captured what I wanted out of the logo in question. So again, I thank Pania for that, and you'll start seeing that image a lot more often at this point. Talking a little bit about the future of the channel, I do feel like I've done well in finding sort of the style niche that I've been going for lately, mostly because I feel like I've gotten a lot more feedback and a lot more people commenting and liking the video with the new sort of sub-edited format. And what I mean sub-edited is that it's not a scripted video. I still talk about the points in the video and I still talk over the footage. The footage is edited at this point. I will break the footage down into certain parts. And in particular, I do sort of freeform stuff, but if I do mess up, I will go back and redo the entire thing. With some of the Let's Tries in the past, I wouldn't do that. If it was like 5 minutes in the video and I made a screw up, okay, fine, I'll just sort of let that go and then go on. Probably like this video where it's just me sort of ranting and raving for a little bit, which that can work at times, but for my strengths, I feel like it doesn't necessarily in terms of my game is analytical. My game is, show off what a game can do, what its strengths are, what its weaknesses are, where its game design elements are, strong and weak, and, where I can match the game to a specific person. So I feel like the edited style works on that. I've noticed his successes on videos like Rodea, even though that was scripted. The Black Ops 3 PC performance, it was a good example of that. And even Zero Reflex was a good example of that at this point. So I'm going to keep that style. And unless other people tell me otherwise, I'm going to probably keep on doing that. I like that format. And I also like the fact that it gives me more time with the game, in my opinion, because I will go back and re-record things. One of the noticeable style differences I've had that you've probably noticed is the music. In those videos, I make sure I record without the music of the game on and then put the music on top of it at that point so that I'm not fighting it, and when I have those edited clips together, that it's not, fighting each other to, who's the dominant music at point. So I just re-record without the music and then go for it at that point. And I felt like that's really worked. I think people have really responded to that. And I'm surprised a little bit, only because I didn't know it made that much of a difference. But hey, I can't argue with results at this point. Now, for the rest of the December, I do plan on covering a couple of different games. And the last 2 weeks of December, you have to realize there's not a lot coming out. It's Christmas. No one wants to be releasing their game near Christmas, only because, who's going to get the game, first of all, at that point? You probably got your shopping done. But second of all, who wants to support a game during Christmas at that point? So, realizing that, it will probably have a bunch of, end-of-year roundups like I did last year. The top 10 games that were overlooked, top 10 disappointments, things like that. So I'll be doing a couple things like that. I do want to cover EDF 4.1 only because a couple of my friends have enjoyed that series, and it is sort of in my niche in terms of, okay, let's see if this repetitive gameplay can hold up over time. Let's see if a game like Hyrule Warriors, which I think held up rather well, can EDF do something similar at this point. I did request a review copy. We'll see if Xseed grants me that one. They did grant me Onichiabra. Let's hope that my average review of that didn't, hurt that at this point, but doesn't matter. I'll probably still cover the game anyway. I'm thinking about doing Devil's Third. I've heard there's already reviews on it, but I sort of want to give it a chance in and of itself. It just, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to be my kind of game, so we'll see. And then I've got a backlog. I have a backlog of games that people have sent to me, people have, not necessarily developers, but people have recommended to me. And I still have games like, okay, Poi will be probably next week. They sent me a copy of their game, and it's a Super Mario 64-like game. Of course I'm going to do that. That was one of my funnest games that I played on the N64. Bedlam was Slender Dubs. I still have that on the list. I've got like Overpowered, a Paladin's closed beta. Just a bunch of games that I do want to cover. And I want to give them the time of day at this point. And I feel like December will be a catch-up month in that case. But I also want to do something a little bit more unique in terms of some other content. I do want to work on those 10 Valve feature video that I've been talking about, because I really feel like Valve has been, what's the word I'm looking for? Not really doing much in terms of their service. And I feel like there are so many ways that they can make their service better. So I really want to cover that. And, well, I do want to do more collabs, only to, help grow the channel, work with people, show them, okay, let's play a little bit of the game, maybe work on my sense of humor. This channel will never be a Let's Play channel. This will never be a humorous channel, but, humor does help in certain situations, and to laugh at me as well. So I think I will try to focus a little bit about, reaching out to people and working on that. I'm still working with Skilled, and he has got his own channel now for podcasts. I'll link it in the description below. I may be doing more collabs with him in terms of the conversations that we have on a more general level, not just some issues in the gaming world, but more so like, evergreen kind of stuff. Like, okay, let's just discuss, some of the old games from the, back in the day at this point. And in one of these episodes, I will have a you-know counter, because I know I say you-know a lot, especially in the unscripted videos, especially in the Skilled podcast videos, because it's me trying to search for a thought or how the words are put together, like right there, and it's just something I keep on going back to. So unfortunately, I know I do it a lot. I do want to sort of bring it home at this. I keep on saying during this video. Bring it home at one point to say, okay, enough is enough. I gotta figure out how to fix this. So maybe I'll do that just to embarrass myself at this point. Now, I am working on the Just Cause 3 review for Tech Raptor. That's the footage that you see here. Early impressions, I've liked it a lot. I know a lot of people have had problems in terms of the gameplay, in terms of performance on the PC. And what's really weird about that is that, yeah, of course my 980 is able to deal with it now, but even the older machine is dealing with it just fine, and I'm surprised on that. It's an AMD card too, which has apparently been giving a lot of problems for people. Now, have I seen some weird things in this game? Yeah, I've seen roofs being not on the actual house in question as I go towards it and sort of skydive down towards it, but not any real bugs. So I've been pretty lucky on that front. X-Blades. I just don't know what to say about the X-Blades video at this point. I'm not going to bring it up again after this video until it's done. I just don't think humor is necessarily my thing. I think the video's funny. I just am very paranoid about it at this point. So I really want to sort of refine it. I don't know when that's going to be out, guys. I'm sorry. But let's be honest here. You're probably here, especially if this is the first time you've seen this channel, because of the giveaway. Now, I was discussing this with Captain Fluffy Muffin. I know that he's a viewer on this channel, and it became down to a giveaway between Just Cause 3 and Fallout 4. And you know what? 1,000 subscribers is a huge milestone, so why not both? Now, I will list the 10 games below in the description, and those games are, of course, Just Cause 3, Fallout 4, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. It's one of my favorite older games at this point. It's one of those underrated games, in my opinion, that doesn't get the attention that it deserves. System Shock 2, again, a very good old classic. Outlast. Horror games are not my thing, but I know Outlast did very well and is probably worth your time. ManaCollect, one of those rare games that probably will come up in a certain 10 underrated video at this point. Schrodinger's Cat and the Raiders of the Lost Quark, just because it's a good game and it was on the Humble Bundle at this point. Worms Armageddon, which is always fun. I'm so glad they brought that back. I haven't liked the latest Worms games, but if you don't like the Holy Hand Grenade, there's something wrong with you guys. Dark Souls, the Prepare to Die edition, and the No Time to Explain Remastered at this point. Now, like my other videos, there will be a competition, I guess, via CPUs to figure out who the winner is. That will be determined. The game will be determined based on how many people enter. Now, how do you enter? The way you enter is, one, you have to be a friend on Steam for me. And in particular, that has to be before the week is up in terms of the video in question. I'll give people a week to join the game in question, or to join the contest in question, only because I've had so many problems getting a hold of people with the other contests. I still am trying to give away 10 through 12 of the old contest at this point, and I just haven't been able to, get through it at this point. So I'm going to try to fix that here. If you're not on Steam, add me on Steam. My Steam ID is in the description below. There will be a paste bin that I expect from you of the order of your game, so I don't have to wait on asking you for the games in question. You'll put them in order, and so I can immediately put all the games there. There are only 10 games. I hope that is asking a lot at this point, but I just need that information so I can get it out quickly. I mean, efficiency. That's what I'm going for. And you have to answer a question. What do you want from the channel in the future? And in particular, what do you want to see more of at this point? I know I've covered a lot of smaller indie games on this channel and medium indie games, and I think people want that from this channel. I don't know if people want AAA games on this channel. I know that people wanted my opinion on Fallout 4. it's one of those things where it's just like, I think that so many people do it that I'm not sure if my opinion's really necessary, other than maybe a game design after the fact. Like, okay, what worked on a game design level at this point, rather than necessarily a review. But I do want to hear whether or not you want more content like that. Again, that will never take precedence over, you know, the indie games, in my opinion. It just, I just feel like the indie games need the coverage more, and I feel like people expect it out of the channel more. And I like covering indie games. I like covering those smaller games, and especially at telling people, you know, hey, this is what you can do better in terms of your game, or providing new solutions to, you know, problems that they have. Just got done talking with the militia guy, talking about how he can improve the game in question, because I felt it was so close to a recommendation for me, but in the end I couldn't give it to it. So, that is my 1,000 subscriber video. Again, the instructions for the contest earlier in the video at this point, but if you guys have any questions, and you know what? The result video in question will be a Q&A, so I will answer any questions that you guys have. I will probably set up something else at this point, but any questions that you have, I do want to answer at this point. All right, this is Dragnix signing out. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and keep on gaming. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left-hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left-hand side as well. And if you've missed my last video, take a look at the right-hand side. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.